Good morning. Welcome back. My name is Beth Cleveland. I'm a kindergarten through third grade teacher teaching art with the St. Tammany Parish School System. So this morning we're looking at today's goal, which is I can use geometric and organic shapes to create an image with overlap inspired by Henri Matisse. So again, we want to look at our red words, which are geometric and organic shapes. So shapes is one of our 7 elements of art, and I'm sure most of my kindergarten through third graders know that's what a circle looks like, what a triangle looks like, a rectangle. All of those are called geometric shapes. They're shapes that have a specific name, and we're also going to be using today organic shapes. So an organic shape, and I'll make one here with scissors and paper for you. An organic shape is a shape that does not have a specific shape. You're thinking of maybe the curve of a leaf, the swirl of a tornado. Think about the edges of a rock, and you end up with just a very interesting shape with no specific name that we call an organic shape. So we're going to be using both types of shapes today as we look at the work of Henri Matisse. Now this was called Beasts of the Sea. It was painted in 1950, which was at the very end of Matisse's career. And when he started painting, it was about the same time as Pablo Picasso, who we talked about in the last video. And Matisse was probably considered just as important as Pablo Picasso, but they were actually pretty close rivals, with each one kind of looking to see what the other was doing. And Matisse was known mainly for his bright use of colors. And in fact, where we talked about how Picasso was the creator of Cubism, Matisse is considered the innovator or leader of the Fauvist movement, which used really bright, kind of wild, vivid colors. And that's what the word Fauvism means, is the wild beast. So towards the end of his career, Matisse was not able to paint anymore due to his health. So he went back to the method of collage, which is, as we talked about in an earlier video, when you glue something, it could be paper or objects, into your painting. So everything you see in his work here was cut with scissors, made of papers, and then glued onto a larger paper to make his work. So in this work you do see geometric shapes, and most of them are in the background, with the organic shapes sitting on top of the geometric shapes. So we have this organic spiral here, and it's sitting on this yellow rectangle right here. So he's combining both of those. And he's also using overlap, which is used by most artists, in fact. And that's just a way of seeing what is in front and what is in back. So if you look at my hand, and then I put my other hand here, I'm creating overlap. So I know this one's in front because I can't see all of the hand in the back. So we're going to use geometric shapes, organic shapes, and see what we can create. Now you only need a pencil and paper for this project, and I'm just using construction paper to help illustrate some of the decisions that you'll need to make along the way. So let's say I'm going to start with a circle. On my paper then, I'm going to draw a circle, which I could draw anywhere I want on my paper. And then I'm going to choose another shape, maybe this yellow rectangle here. And I have a choice. I want to think about, do I want it to go under the blue over here and on top of the blue? Do I want it to go over the blue in both places? Or maybe I want this side under the blue. So I make a decision, And on my paper, I'm going to draw this rectangle. And I'm not worrying about right now whether I want it under or over or anything else. So I'm just drawing by freehand. You can, of course, use a straight edge if you want to get it really straight. So here's my yellow piece. And now I decide, and then of course I had my blue actually had a smaller circle inside of it. So now to show the overlap, I want to decide, do I want the blue on top or do I want the yellow on top? The circle or the rectangle? So let's look at this, and I see that I have the yellow on top. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to erase the part that's blue over there. So really this is just a tool to help me think about my decisions. Now over here, I see that my yellow goes under the blue, so I'm going to erase part of the rectangle. And I'm not going to make it dark yet because I'm going to continue to add more shapes to this to see what happens. So now if I add a triangle, again, I can kind of play with this to decide what do I want it to look like, where do I want it to go, and what do I want it underneath. So let me see about if I go under the blue and just have it reach over to touch the yellow like this, the yellow rectangle. So then over here, I'm going to put a triangle. And then I'm looking to see it went under this blue circle. So I erase part of my triangle right here. And then I can put that back. So now I'm going totally underneath. Let's bring in an organic shape. So this is sort of an interesting looking organic shape. Kind of makes me think of a snake or something. And I can kind of play with how do I want it. Maybe I just want it to sit on top of this blue and not go through the circle. All right, so then when I come over here, and I don't have to recreate this same exact shape. I just see that I have something kind of swirly that sits right on top of the blue here. So I'm going to erase out part of that circle. So you can see I'm building up shapes. They're intertwining. Some will look like they're coming forward because they're overlapping on top. And then some, like this triangle back here, should look like they're receding. And let me try maybe one more. What color do I haven't used any red? So I've got this red rectangle here. And I think I might like to maybe slide it underneath this pink right here. All right. And you can see on my paper, I can't make it as big as this is, but that's okay. I can still do the same idea. So it looks like it goes about right here and put it in there. And then if you don't want to do this step where you're kind of playing with your shapes, there's nothing that keeps you from just taking your drawing and just deciding on your own. I think I want another triangle right here. I think I want that triangle to go on top of this shape. So I have to erase out part of that shape. And maybe I want an organic shape. Oh, let's see, right in here, just swirling around. So now I have to look and see, is my organic shape on top or underneath? And I think I will make it underneath. So I need my circle to show and not my organic shape. All right, there we go. And then I can come back. So once you've put all the shapes you want, then you can come back and really start darkening up these lines because you're not going to need to erase anymore at that point. Okay, I see right here I have to make a decision because I have the rectangle and the organic shape, and I can only have one or the other. So I think I'm going to erase actually part of my rectangle and have it sit on top of the rectangle, but underneath the circle. And here I need to erase a little bit. All right. So what I've created, you can go back to my goal and see, I've used geometric and organic shapes. I've created an image with overlap inspired by some of the geometric and organic shapes seen in Henri Matisse's Beasts of the Sea. So hold on to this, because next time when we get together, we're going to talk about value, and we're going to see how adding light and dark areas to these shapes can also help to bring some of the shapes forward or make some of the shapes look like they're going back. So until next time, see you later. Bye.